Hey, so I'm back. I got this project here at my house. I finally got a chance to do something here at my house, which is obviously a driveway. Uh, Brought the boys over and we pounded out all this old concrete and decided to put in a new driveway. And so now I got the driveway in, and as you can see, I have some existing brick here, and I put the planters over there, added some brick there. So now what I'm going to do is, since I added this concrete, widen it up by about 4 feet or so, I'm going to add some brick here. As you can see, when we poured, we added a little form to create this little channel here so we can install the brickwork. I put a brick right here, so I have one right here, and I added one over here. And well, it's one of those things where you just want to get this done because you're wanting to park your vehicle in here and try it out. So it's been about about 4 days now for curing, and I think I'm gonna wait a little while, maybe a couple more. It's been kind of cool, so hasn't really cured all that well. When I put the irrigation back in here on the side, I noticed some of the slurry that pours out the side. It was still a little wet, so I'm gonna wait. Well, here I go. I'm gonna go ahead and start installing this brickwork here, and I'm gonna add some concrete to the bottom as a base, and I have some masonry mortar to put in between as a grout, and that's pretty much it. So we'll get to it. Stand by. All right, so we got the first row done here. As you can see, I placed it on here, and I set all the brick in that little channel, and we're just going to go ahead and let it set. It's nice and straight. You can see that. Beautiful. So now I'm going to the next one. I'll kind of explain what I'm doing so you can understand where I'm at. Here I am. What I did was I went and put a stake right there, and that provides a nice straight line all the way across. I have my concrete mix. I have a tub right here. I just kind of mixed it, and using some kneelers, and have a stake over there and a stake over here, and I got the spacing I wanted to even both sides. And then in here, in between here, well, there's a couple of ways of doing that. You can get whatever spacer you need to make up the difference here, or you can measure them all up, whatever you want to do. I am not really finicky about it. I'm not particular about it. Usually what I do is I use my fingers. I put my hand in here, and that pretty much tells me where I need to go based on my distance, measuring from there to there. I started in the center. That way I can kind of make it as I go. It's not a very critical thing unless you're really critical about spacing. Then you have to look at your measurements and everything else. But as far as laying something like this, it's a driveway, we can do it the way we're doing it. This, I can go. This is a 1/2 inch aluminum piece. I can set it right at that space right there and go all the way to the end. The problem is I'll end up having like maybe an inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half or so, 3/8, whatever, and I don't want that. So my finger seems to be the mark for it. And then when I set these in here, I put my mortar down. I usually put it right in the middle here, but this one's kind of a deep channel, so I'm having to fill this thing in. Once I have it to the, to the height of the concrete, to the height I want for the brick, I just go ahead and I have a height here, and I have this thing right there, and I put the brick down, and I just tap this with a rubber mallet. And here's my rubber mallet. I usually tap it just like here, there, tap it down, so it sets down and it evens it out, makes it nice and flat. And then of course my line going across, I line it up really nice, and that's pretty much where it is. Sometimes you may get a brick that like in this particular case, it's nice and flat, the brick, but you may get a brick that's like, you want to preset your bricks in a tub like this, so that you bubble them out, so that when you set your mortar, it tends to bond to your brick a lot better. You don't want to do it dry, because that just doesn't work. The brick just sucks up the moisture from your mortar and tends to dry it out, not give you a good bond. But anyway, I was saying for the brick, sometimes the brick, the way they make it, it has like a little crown here, and that's no good. So you want to use the side that's flat, and that's the side that's flat, and that side will be the top, so that you can do a nice flat surface. And yeah, it works out pretty good. All right, well, let me keep going, and I'll finish this course of bricks, and we'll do the next one next to the gate there. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I finished off all the rows that I was doing. I left off over there. The brick is set in place with the concrete. It's set overnight, so I came back this morning and I started grouting all of this. So I pretty much got it all done here on the first one here, and now I'm working over here on the next row here. So got this all done, and as you can see, I'm over here on this area working this one. I'm going to fill it in. Basically what I did was I just got some mortar mix, mixed it pretty wet so it flows really nice in between here, and I added a little bit of the Sikaflex hardener into this. You can buy it at your local hardware store, Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever, and just kind of mixed it in to help harden it. And it's a simple process. It's basically, I just get the edge here, and just put it in there and basically let it flow in there. Try not to get any packet in there, so that you don't get any bubbles or anything that later on in time, when it rains and it gets hot, concrete will expand and contract, and next thing you know, you have cracks and everything else, and the mortar comes out. You want it pretty solid, so we got a good base in between there of concrete, and we're adding the mortar mix now. So this is what I do. Once I have it in there, just get a little trowel and I pack that thing in there like that. Everybody has their way of doing it. This is how I've done it. I've done this for many years, and it's worked out pretty good, and it's done a really good job. It makes a really good, beautiful um, piece here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this just exactly the same, and possibly do the one over there on that side over there last. But I just wanted to get these in here. Once this is in there, I have a sponge like this. Once I pack this thing in here, I guess I could show you the process of how I do this. I'll do one. I pack that in there, get that in there really nice. I just scrape it like this. Tear that out. Tear the excess out. You're gonna get little divots like this. You just kind of fill them in as you go. The mortar's pretty wet yet, so you can really work it. And you just do a little section at a time and work it just like that. Once I have this all established where I want it, like so, you can kind of see how that looks. Just get a sponge like this. I usually like to sponge the tile or the brick, the edges, the corners. It's a little bit wet. You don't want it too wet. Sponge the edges, get those edges in there. Try to get all the shape of your it's hard to have the camera and do this at the same time. I basically shape the brick like that, and then I run the whole thing. I'll do the whole thing, and I'll run the edges like that, so it cleans it up really nice like that. You have a nice clean edge on both sides, and then you just wipe that out like so, and then just keep running it like this, and then you have a nice finish piece. So I'll continue to do this all the way through, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you like it. Please subscribe, comment if you'd like, and thanks for watching.